Hey, sisters.
Oh, Stefan.
Appreciate it. All right, we'll just let's just get it rocking. Um, all right, so today we're here with Allenownz, 27-year-old from the New York, New Jersey area. Joined Luminosity as a content creator. Has over 1.6 million followers on TikTok, 55 million likes on TikTok, just over under 100,000 subs on YouTube, 50K between his Instagram and Twitter. Please welcome Allenownz. We appreciate you hopping on, man.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So the first question I gotta ask, where'd you get Allenownz? Is that like your OG gamer tag?
So it's funny. So it's kind of like there's two answers to this. There's the um there's the gaming answer and then there's like the real answer. So which one do you want to hear?
Let's hear it both. Let's hear them both. Let's hear it.
So the gaming answer was um I was playing a lot of like PC games way before everybody. Like when I was at like a super young age, like Unreal Tournament, like UT3 on Unreal Tournament 2000 when like I was legit like a little kid.
Yeah.
But my dad was into like PC gaming. He was always playing like Civilization. He was playing like he played Counter-Strike um way before like everybody else, like 1.6. And so he had gotten me into it, and he would play like let's say an hour a day. I would play for 7 hours, and I was that squeaker that was like on the mic, and the one that everyone always makes fun of, like the little kid who would squeak, and it's like, oh my god, I died to a squeaker type situation. And a lot of them like I can't believe I'm getting owned by a little kid. And at that time, I was using my last name as my username because like just the name Allen wouldn't work obviously because it was taken everywhere. Um, and at the time, I was like, "Yo, like, what can I make my username that's not my last name?" Because my dad started to get worried, like, "Hey, like you're getting older, you don't want like our last name out there. Like that's a little dangerous." So MySpace at the time, which I'm sure
Big
I,
throwback.
I don't know how old Connor is, but
Oh yeah,
so
it's been a
on
while. Yeah.
MySpace, the really popular thing used to be where you would own somebody's pictures, and it would be like like at the caption it'd be like this person owns this picture or whatever.
Mhm.
And I was like, a lot of the girls that I was like friends with would say like Alan owns this, right? And
There you
I
go.
was like, okay, this works perfectly. I own kids and games, I own the pictures, and it was Alan owns. So it's been Alan owns since like,
Before
honestly,
gaming.
like, yeah, like since I was like 12, bro. Like
That's
maybe
crazy.
12, 13 years old. I've had like this username, and it's been
Just stuck with
what,
you.
yeah, like 15 years at this point.
And then you just rocked it into gaming like it was just a seamless transition for you.
Yeah, I mean, like I just like use that as the name, and like I use that on everything. Like my
Yeah.
thing was that on every social media. It was that on MySpace. It was that on Twitter, gaming, Instagram, you name it. It was
Mhm.
always Alan Owens from there on out. And like any game I would play, I would just use like Alan Owens as the thing. And like, it made sense for it like works for anything. And
Mhm.
like, it's
Yeah.
funny is every time they're like, yo, like you make a new YouTube account, like I could do like, like let's say I made like a sports card account. It could be
Mhm.
Alan Owens cards
Yeah.
because I own sports
Oh
trading cards.
yeah. There you go.
Alan owns crypto. I own crypto. I
Yeah.
own stocks and stuff like that. So
That's
like
awesome.
it just like it's funny how like the name will work out for basically any situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's definitely super creative that you could just like jump it onto everything. You kind of we'll get into the crypto and sports cards a little bit later, but I know so you blew up on TikTok like crazy. 1.6 million followers is insane. I got to ask, why TikTok? Was it just were you on Musically before or like did you make that transition or when did you
No,
jump on TikTok?
so it's funny. So I got on TikTok. It was October of 2019,
Hmm.
um, and what had happened was like I was streaming on Mixer at the time,
Right.
and my big thing was like I was posting my clips on Twitter, on Instagram. I started finally posting like videos on YouTube at the time, and I started realizing, like I'm getting a couple hundred like views on this and stuff like that. And I was thinking to myself like, what can I realistically do to like get a much larger audience that someone else isn't doing? And at that time, it was around October where I kept seeing on social media like, oh, there's this girl Charlie who she's got like 3 million followers in a few months on on TikTok. And I was sitting there like, okay, if this, and everyone at the time was saying, it's a dancing and lip syncing app.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I was thinking if somebody can get 3 million followers dancing and lip syncing on it, there's got to be at least a percentage of those people that like gaming. There
Mm-hmm.
has to be like
Yeah.
some percentage that like gaming. So at that time, I started just posting my gaming clips. My first clip had gotten like 20K views. And that's when I knew that this is going to work. It's all about how far can I use it to actually extend my reach. And
Right.
at that time, I just kept posting clip and clip and clip and clip. And I was like, dang, it took me 4 months. And it wasn't like, oh my God, this is slow. It took me 4 months. So from October to like February
Mm-hmm.
time,
Of what
I get
year? Of what year?
2019 into
2019.
2020.
Okay.
So I gained like 10K followers. And to me, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, gaining 10K in 4 months is
It's awesome.
from zero. I was like, yo, that's a lot. But then you start comparing yourself, which I always tell people not to, but it's
It's hard not to.
easier said than done. I was comparing myself to like Charlie being like, whoa, I got on here, she had 3 million, she has 15 now.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing that's not growing? And then that's when I started switching to making like skits and like, IRL type personality content where it's not dependent on the game that you're playing. Cause like when you're watching a clip and you're watching a Fortnite clip, you want a Fortnite creator to watch it, right? You want
Right.
someone who like Fortnite to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I started just making relatable content. And right around the first week of March, I think it was, I had my first million view video. And I had realized like the growth is realistically you as a creator, my personality, my skits.
Mm-hmm.
And like I didn't really hop on trends at the time. Like I like making my own style of content. And right around February till so February I went from like 10K to like 70K. And then from February to like March, April, I gained about 400,000 followers.
Damn. That's a big
And
jump.
yeah, it was just like I was posting basically every hour on the hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I went from streaming like 120 hours a month to streaming like 20 because I was like, look, I will take short-term losses for a long-term chance at gain. Like if
Right.
I know that I'm going to extend my reach by millions, let me cut down on the streaming. And I was posting like 12 posts a day, 13 posts a day, just every hour on the hour, just like, because that's the true formula of success on TikTok. If you shit post or spam post and it's decent quality content, it's going to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those, let's say you do 13 in a day, one of those needs to just hit the For You page and you're going to gain. And if you do that every single day,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to win. And
Right.
that's the formula that I gave to the guys I live with because I got them on as well. I just told them, dude, post every hour on the hour. Once you find something that works, post that every hour on the hour. There's no reason not to
Mm-hmm.
because no one watches their following section on TikTok. Everybody watches
No.
the For You page. It's all about getting on the For You page.
Mm-hmm.
Your chances are significantly higher posting 13 times a day than it is one time a day. And then it just kept rapidly growing, and then I started realizing, like I have this part of my niche. I kept on trying to make content that's relatable, and right now, like I'm making a transition into like IRL content,
Mm-hmm.
which is
I
like,
saw your one video just popped off with the Logan Paul and stuff like
yeah,
that. Got like over that one went crazy.
that's my first 10 million view video. You know what I mean? Like, I have friends that don't even have as many followers as me that have had 10 million view videos,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, like I finally got that 10 million view video, and I think it's at like 11 now. And it's just like, I see myself having a much larger potential of growth doing the IRL content for my brand compared to, so many people just want to lock themselves into a niche forever, right?
Right.
Like so many people just want to be in the gaming niche forever. And it's just like, I like making IRL content. I like vlogging. I like doing skits that relate to people outside of gaming. And, like I know for a fact it's going to hurt me a little bit short term. Like not every video is going to be in the 100, 200K like it was.
Yeah.
I know it's going to drop into the 50 to 100K range until I grow that base again. But I'm having way more fun, right? Like at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, like that's the big thing of all this.
You're having fun and you're still popping off the views. Like the fact that that was your biggest viewed video is actually insane. See, I didn't even know that until you said that. So
Yeah. My
that
biggest before that was 5.7. So like it's
wow, it
more
crushed
than
it.
doubled it. It literally
Yeah.
more than doubled it.
So you kind of mentioned this already. I guess you kind of already talked about it, but like when you were back in the day with your dad and stuff like that, did you ever think like I want to be a pro gamer, or was it like you just loved video games? You know what I mean? That kind of, you know what I mean? That kind of ordeal.
So I'm sure, like, being in our age group, us growing up, like the prize pools weren't like they were now.
No, of course not.
And it's funny is I competed in Halo 3 tournaments that were for money and prizes where I played in a regional for an MLG tournament that we came in second place in,
Nice.
and we won a I always ask people, what do you guys think we won for second place in a regional for MLG? And everyone's like, oh, probably like $1,000. I was like, no, we won a Xbox controller and a $150 Radio Shack gift card.
Radio
Radio
Shack's
Shack
literally
doesn't
dead.
exist. It doesn't even exist anymore. And it's like the funny thing is that qualified us to go to like Atlanta, but we couldn't go because like you winning would basically cover the entire trip. And my parents were like, "Why am I going to pay for him to go play games
Hmm.
like in Atlanta where he has a small chance of winning, and him winning just covers the trip and maybe a couple $100?"
Right.
So like stuff like that, like for us,
Yeah.
like it didn't make like gaming didn't really
No.
make sense as a career.
Yeah.
Like it was more like who's the best gamer in the friend group, like who's the
Yeah.
best gamer. Like you would go for like leaderboards and stuff back then.
Hmm.
Now it's anyone and their mama can play for tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like the fact that I have earnings in games that I won money in Fall Guys.
What's
I
your
won money.
earnings? What's your earnings?
Well, I won the $1,000 in the Fall Guys tournament.
Okay.
I won $2,000 on Apex Legends, um, and some like Tetris tournament. I won $500 on.
That's
So like,
crazy.
but it's like those were you couldn't hear of those type of
No.
numbers. The fact that like I'm a random dude and I could win stuff like that, like
Yeah. $500 on Tetris is awesome to hear, just because of the fact that like you got a $150 Radio Shack gift card, and that just completely blows it out of the roof for playing some Tetris.
yeah,
Like,
it's crazy how far gaming's got in terms of that realm.
oh yeah. So what do you, kind of like going off that, like what do you think like the biggest myth right now in esports that still exists? Cuz like people understand that you can make money now, and that like people are still getting on that train, but what do you think right now like is going to take esports to the next level? Like what's going to jump it? Like so Fortnite jumped in, they gave these big prize pools that kind of jumped it up. And then like what do you think the next thing that's going to really take it to the next level?
I think what's really going to bring us to the next level is when our age group is what the boomers are now, where
Mhm.
it's all normalized. Like that's the big thing. Like, and I think a really big thing is going to be when you see all these esports stadiums in these major cities. Like
Yeah.
we have so many being built in New York and like the Jersey area, where it's like if you can walk to, let's say, watch a Call of Duty event, it becomes way more real. It's just
Yeah.
like how when me growing up, like I remember my dad would take me to sports games, and I think I fell way more in love with sports being around it, seeing, bro, there's 20 to 40,000 people where I am right now watching the same game that I'm watching, but at home there's millions. That's the big thing. When it starts feeling real is what I think when it's going to take over the next level.
Yeah.
And like, if you can go, like, I remember I wanted to go to the COD World Championship because it was at the Barclays Center. I
Mhm.
had unfortunately got sick, but like I know for a fact. I mean, Overwatch. I said COD. I meant Overwatch.
Yeah.
Uh, when they had the Overwatch League at the Barclays Center, I remember like I wanted to go because I never really played Overwatch. I never took it serious. When I saw the pictures, I was so upset that I wasn't there. Slammed out whole arena, the confetti when the other team wins, like it's just like it's something that like I feel like you dream of as a
Hmm.
as a player, and it's like you can watch it happen live. Like that's the type of stuff that like I wish like that's what's gonna legitimize it for people as well. Like when they go to these type of events, when they see that it's like this is legit. When I was at the Fortnite World Cup,
Oh yeah.
when
Yep.
stuff was happening at the Fortnite World Cup, the place was shaking.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of parents realized it's way more real at the Fortnite World Cup,
Oh yeah.
and it's just gonna take those pieces by pieces by pieces before it's just completely mainstream.
Hmm. Yeah, I was at the
Yeah.
World Cup too, and I actually saw a couple moms crying. Like I don't know if it was their kids, but like it was just really heartfelt. So I think people are understanding. I think it's coming there. What were you gonna say, Connor? Sorry.
No, I just wanted to build off his point. Like for me, I live in a decently populated area, like it's West Michigan, and Michigan's not like a super small state by any means, but there's nothing here. There's been one event that's notable outside of like some Smash events. There's Big House every year, and that gets a decent show up, but it's Smash. If we're talking mainstream esports, the only thing that's been here in the past 5 years has been one LCS final, but it was for the spring split, so it didn't even matter for Worlds or the big picture. It was just a big event, and that's it. The closest thing to me in West Michigan is an event in Chicago. There's like a CS:GO event that happens there. It's usually every year, but with COVID, it hasn't been. But that's the closest thing to me. If I want to go to another event outside of that, outside of Smash and outside of the one Chicago event, I have to fly or drive at least 10 hours. And once it starts really getting adopted and really like homegrown and that grassroots kind of merges with somewhat of the corporate orgs we have right now, you'll get that grassroots growth because it doesn't feel real until you go to an event. I can say that firsthand. I've only been to one big event, that was the CS:GO in Chicago, but once I got there, it's like, oh, these people, they're not just like Twitter profile pictures walking around. These are real people. There's staff here. There's a massive production going on for this event. Oh, and we're playing at the Chicago Bulls Stadium. That's when it gets real. And I think once those stadiums start getting put up and we start getting back to normal and get back to the grassroots, it's really going to grow. Jack, I did want to get your thoughts. What do you think about the new facility they're putting up in Philly that NSG's got going on? Because that's relatively close to you guys.
Yeah, I know it's right in South Philly where it's not where all the major stadiums are. It's right next
Mhm.
to it's actually right next to like a casino. So I mean, it's probably gonna pop off. It's probably gonna be really
Yeah,
dope. And when it gets finished, I'm definitely gonna go. So it's
yeah,
just a matter of time at this point.
yeah.
And kind of
That's awesome.
tailing off that, Alan, we talked about this last week. We kind of thought about it. Like, do you think there's ever gonna get to a point where it's like there's like an overseeing, like almost like the NCAA. You know how the NCAA like oversees like all these sports. Like, do you think it's ever going to be possible to oversee like Fortnite, like Overwatch, all these things in the same quote unquote league?
So
You,
I don't think it'll be all under one. I think like each that's what's amazing about these games is I think each game will be like Fortnite will be like the MLB.
mhm,
Overwatch will be the NBA. COD will be the NFL.
right.
I like the only way I've ever seen it being under the same umbrella if it's the same genre of game, right? Like if you
Hmm.
do like there's a governing body for battle royales and stuff like that, where you have
Right.
like battle royale has like their own governing body, but like I can see every one of these major games like having their own, like governing body. The only problem is, and it's something that like I've talked to a lot of people about, is it's the longevity of these games, right? Like
Right.
we don't know the true lifespan of any major game yet because like there's games like League that they've been around for over a decade and stuff like that. But like when are we going to get to the point where there's like a game that we're playing for 30 years that has a massive community the whole
Yeah.
entire time and stays mainstream?
Yeah.
Like COD is in going in that direction. Like we will see if they can hold on to that longevity. Like they already have, the COD Pro League and stuff like that. Like everyone, like who knows? Like the battle royale genre 5 years from now can just disappear.
Right.
People could just be completely over the battle royale genre in 5 years. Whereas compared to like the MOBA genre has been going on for like 20 years at this point. Like I know League's the main game now, but Dota's a
It's been
MOBA,
around.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's a genre that's been around for like 20 years at this point, and it's a mainstream genre. So it's all gonna be about like we're such an infancy stage of gaming. Like I think
Right.
people still forget to like realize that. Like we're talking about these major sports leagues have been around since from
For a
our
hundred years. Yeah.
yeah, our great grandparents' age at this point. So it's like we're in that beginning stages of what probably is going to be the next mainstream form of entertainment,
Hmm.
and the next mainstream form of competitive, sport. And it's just we got to take it step by step. Too many people want to just like jump and all of a sudden Fortnite's the NBA. Like that's not gonna happen. It's
No.
gonna be
Yeah.
step by step by step. And it's all building blocks. Like Fortnite might be the building blocks for that next game that just takes it all over.
Hmm. Yeah, I just hope I hope we get another game like Fortnite. Nothing's ever gonna beat. I mean, obviously anything could happen in the future, but like, just in that feeling, like playing with your boys like late night on Fortnite back in like 2019, like I feel like it's gonna be hard to top that. Just that feeling, you know.
I feel like the crazy thing is, I feel like we've said that about so many things throughout our lifetime,
True.
and I feel like it's only gonna get bigger and bigger. Like, for example, I remember when I first played Call of Duty, like, boom, I was like, nothing's gonna beat this. Halo was the same situation.
Yeah,
I remember World of Warcraft was the same situation. RuneScape was the same situation.
that's
And then
true.
Fortnite was like the same situation. It's just like the scale of gaming is getting so big where who knows, like that next game might be so international and interglobal where your grandma can play it.
Right.
And like it doesn't have it, it's different. Like I don't know how to like describe it.
No.
Like that next game could be even bigger.
Right. Because the last time I really felt like Fortnite was like that, it was like MW2 Black Ops 2 days, like when me and my boys would like we would get our Xboxes and LAN and we would game all night. Like I was one of those kids that would skip school, so like just playing games all night, like that was just like the go-to thing. So that was just like those feelings, like it's so awesome that it just keeps growing. Like it's just like what's the next? It's almost like I don't want to say it's like a drug, but it's just like you're looking for that next like adrenaline rush. Because when you win a game, it's awesome. Like it feels awesome to win like a Fortnite game or a Warzone game, like right now at least. So
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And it's funny is like I'm very late on the Warzone. Like me personally, like, I just started playing Warzone. I've been playing for a little over 3 weeks now. Like I'm very late to it, and it's like when I get a win, I get excited. There's people that have thousands of wins where it's like to them it's natural at this point, like how
mm-hmm.
it was with me with Fortnite. Like I have thousands of wins on Fortnite. Like me getting a win, it's like all right, load into the next game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
Um,
Yeah.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Connor. No, you got it.
All right. Yeah. So, Alan, more about you. You were talking about Call of Duty. You're talking about Halo. What got you into like streaming content creation? Because like for me, when I was in high school, I was playing like game battles, Call of Duty, and we had to like take pictures for proof. And so I ended up getting an Elgato so I could just record the games for like proof of the matches. And I'm like, I found out about Twitch. I'm like, well, I might as well. I'm playing with my buddies anyways. That's kind of how I found out about it, but it never really grasped me. Like, what kind of spurred you to like, no, I could do this for a long time. I have a blast doing it. This is what I want to do.
So funny thing is, and it's something that usually blows people's minds when I tell them, I didn't really play video games from 2011 to 2017. Like in that whole time period, I didn't really touch video games much. Like outside of like when we were like in a college dorm or at the frat house playing some
Yeah.
NHL or Madden.
Right.
So around 2017, I had gotten an Xbox because all my friends were like playing like UFC and NHL and NBA, and we were all out of college. And it was really the best way for us to like stay connected and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I we would play against each other, and a lot of times, it would be like you would read in a group text and be like, "Dude, I destroyed you last night in NHL. Like, what are you talking about?" And he's like, "Bro, that never happened." So I had started streaming specifically to record it.
Okay.
And I didn't realize like that when I would stream, people can actually potentially find it and see it. And people started coming by the chat, and I was like, damn, like this is actually like real people, and I have like an audience that I'm playing in front of. And it would be like people that I was friends with on Xbox,
Mm-hmm.
like for all the years that I was friends with them on Xbox, and they'd be like, yo, what's good? And like I'd have like 10 viewers, and I'd be like, whoa, this is crazy. Like
Were
I'm
you
playing
streaming through the Xbox?
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, I streamed on the Xbox for a very long time, actually.
Nice.
With an Xbox Connect as my camera.
What?
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh man.
My
That's
whole
awesome.
like
Crazy.
the whole timeline for me was straight up like I did that, and then I went with my girlfriend on vacation in Cali around July time, and I would literally just like when I say stream, I'd like load up only when we're playing. Like, I wouldn't like
Yeah.
stream just to like stream. And around July time, I remember like I asked my girlfriend, I was like, hey, like I think I kind of want to take this a little serious. It was around July of 2018,
Mm-hmm.
and I watched Ninja a lot at my office because I had a business at the time, and I'd have like 3 monitors up, and I'd watch a little bit of Ninja, and I'd be like, damn, like this is really cool. And I told her, I was like, I think I might just like, like there's a platform on Xbox called Mixer. Like, a lot of my friends are on Xbox. I'm sure they'd watch me there. Like, maybe I can like try to see how it goes. And she's like, do it. Why not? So August comes around, I start streaming on Mixer. Within my first like month and a half, I got 4,000 followers on there.
Wow.
And I was like, I was averaging like 20 something viewers, and I was like, damn, like this is actually pretty cool. And I streamed on the Xbox with the Kinect all the way through like
That
the
is
end of that.
crazy.
Literally, I went through the whole all of that year from August to like December, January time on the Xbox with the Kinect. And you know, like I had raised enough money through getting partnered on there and like all the subs and like all that. And I was like, I had the money at the time, but I was like, I don't know if I want to invest my own money into this. And I raised enough money where I was like, okay, let's just go big at this point. So I had bought a PC, I had bought a camera, I bought everything, I bought a green screen, and I started like streaming and like taking it way more serious around, you know, like that time period.
Yeah. So, what was the first game you streamed like officially besides?
Fortnite.
It was
Fortnite.
Fortnite. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then, now jumping into this because you kind of gave us how you got into streaming. So, what was the process of you joining Luminosity? Like, because I know, or I guess let's start a little bit before that. How did you meet CarterPulse? And like, who approached who? Did Pulse hit you up? Or Pulse
He
was
knows
talking.
the whole story. He wants to
He
embarrass me on
dropped it in the
that.
chat. He dropped it in the chat.
Here.
Let's.
Okay. I'll tell the whole story with the truth, so Dan can't you know, lie here. So I remember I had played in a tournament with Snood for Microsoft. We had played in the Intel game night, and it was me, One Shot Girl, Punisher, Bobby Souls, Love Abilities, Snood, and Face Thieves. And I remember we went out to dinner with Snood, and he had told me that he had an agency and that he just signed to an organization. And I once I gained like the 400,000 followers, I had actually gotten DM'd by a few organizations, and they were like, "Hey, like you know, like we see what you're doing here. We like the content. Have you ever been interested in joining like a gaming organization?" And at that time, I was like, like you know, like I don't really like care for it too much. But I had reached out to Snood, and I was like, "Hey, like, are these CarterPulse guys like legit? Like, you had told me about them getting you like a significantly better deal than you had gotten with the org you're with before. Should I reach out to them?" And he's like, "Dude, like they did me really well. 100% reach out to them." So at that time, I was like, I only have 400,000 followers. Like, there's no way they're gonna want to work with me. Like, I'm a freaking nobody. So I reached out, and I remember I said, "Hey, like, do you guys only work with pros, or do you guys work with content creators as well?" And Dan, all right, I don't know if it was Jack or Dan had responded. One of you guys had responded.
Was it
And
the message saying like, oh, or something like we don't see fit right now, or what was it?
no, I did not get one of those messages. Okay, don't ever pull that with me. Listen,
Hey, I don't know, I don't know.
so I got like you guys had like messaged me back saying like, you know, like we do represent content creators. You know, we play some with some homes already, and I was like, well, like because I had seen that no one was on TikTok, and I was like, just so you guys know, like I'm on TikTok, and like I have 400 something thousand followers. Like I know I haven't seen any TikTok creators like on your guys' like thing. So like Dan was like, all right, let's set up a call. Sets up a call with me. I patiently waited that day. It's 6 o'clock rolls around, nothing. 6:05 rolls
Nothing.
around, nothing. 6:10 rolls around, nothing. 30 rolls around,
He just
nothing.
spammed in chat. He said I was in court. Is
And
this true?
I was like, damn, man. Like, I guess they saw my stuff or were like. But what's funny is when I had DM'd him, I had 440K. Literally, the next time we spoke, like when we actually spoke, like it was a week and a half later, I already had 510K. So I was like, you better be seeing these numbers. You
Yeah.
better be seeing these numbers. And then he DM'd me back around like 8 o'clock, being like, hey, sorry about that. I was in courts all day. And at that point, I'm gonna be completely honest. I actually had like 6 different talent agencies reach out to me. One of them being like an agency that gets like represented by like a lot of the big creators, like a lot of big creators. And I was like, I DM'd them back that next day, being like, "Hey, I'll take your call," because I was like, "Damn, these guys don't want to talk to me." And then literally, like I think it was like 2 days later, me and Dan had gotten on a call, and I was like, "Damn, like all right, these guys are like, I like these guys. Like they're more of my type of people." Like when I talk to these other uh, like agencies, like they felt so like corporate. And like I left corporate for gaming. Like I don't like I didn't like that whole like you're viewing me as an asset until I'm not an asset type thing. And
Right.
it literally felt like that with some of these like bigger agencies. They were like, well, like what is something notable that we could like, tell organizations about you? And I'm like, isn't that like your job? Like,
Yeah, right.
aren't you supposed to like,
You're supposed to buff me up, like,
yeah, aren't you
Yeah.
supposed to look at my stuff and tell me like
yeah,
this is, and this is like, I was like, what do you mean? Like, I was like, I have almost 600,000 followers on TikTok at this point. I was averaging like 700,000 views on each TikTok at that point. I was like, how do you not? How
yeah.
can you not?
What do you not understand? Yeah,
Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean? What's the notable? Like,
yeah. Just look at it and you'll see.
and
And
then at that point,
yeah,
I just, I went with Dan, and from there, Dan put in the work, and I remember there was the couple of the orgs he told me that were interested, and I said like, I'm gonna be honest, like I want Luminosity. I told him like straight up, I want LG.
yeah,
And I was like, I told him like if it's not LG, it's got to be like a legit tier 1 organization, because it's like I was like I will be at that. I kept telling him I'll be at that level within a year.
yeah.
I was like, I'll be at that. Give me a year, I'll be at that level, no problem. Like I know right now, like I had like 1,000 on YouTube, I had like maybe 2,000 on Insta, like
Wait,
5,000 on
Alan,
Twitter.
wait, hold on. I don't mean to cut you off, but you want to know something crazy? It's I just checked the DMs. You DM'd him June 8th, 2020. It's June 9th, 2021. How crazy is that? It's been a
Yeah.
year.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's actually wild. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just noticed that.
That's
What's
crazy.
even crazier though is it took him a month to get me in a tier 1 org. That's what's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It took the guy 1 month to get me in a tier 1 organization. Like that, and that's the funny thing is like I got obviously like I got my roommates, and like I got them with the guys as well.
Right.
And my big thing is like I feel like everyone I always talk to is always like on their ass with their agents and like their management companies, and I'm over here like, yo, when Dan gets me something, Dan's gonna get me something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I've only ever bugged him maybe like 2 times. One about the new thing that's coming up shortly,
Mm-hmm.
and about like, yo, where's the LG contract? Where's the
Mm-hmm.
LG contract?
Oh yeah, I remember when that whole thing was going on, and then I remember when you signed, and you were on stream, and we tweeted it out because I think you might have been our first tier 1 person to get into, or first client to get into a tier 1 org. So I think that might have been the first time we got someone in. So there you go. You could add that to the wall of
Oh, yeah.
egos with Dan right there. He can never ego you again after that.
Dude, the dude egos me all the time.
um, yeah, so kind of just like getting into more casual things now that we know everything about like your history and stuff like that. So I know you're big into crypto. What do you got for us? What should we be looking out for? First of all, how did you even get into it? When did you like? Were you on the train when it
Can
first?
can we do one disclaimer that there's no financial advice?
Yeah,
of course.
no financial advice. We're not financial
advice.
advisors.
This is no financial advice.
Nothing.
So I had gotten into crypto around 2017, like in like the second bull run, like not the 2013 bull run. I got in around 2017 because I was working at a big firm in New York at the time. So I did a lot of, I was in the finance field, and there were so many people at that time talking about crypto. And I didn't buy into it at first. I bought into it. I just like everyone bought into it. Like theoretically, everyone bought, but I didn't buy into the theory of crypto until
You're still skeptical.
until like the end of 2017, start of 2018, when my money basically 20x at the time, and I was like, hold on, what just happened?
Where does money come from?
Yeah, like,
What's going on?
just happened? And I didn't have like a lot of money. I was just out of college. Like I finished college 2015. I had moved into an apartment in 2016, so I had all these expenses. And like I was the low guy in the totem pole in 2016. I had just started working my way up in 2017, so like I didn't have like that type of this disposable, expensable, however you want to use the word for it, income, where I could have just dropped stupid money into crypto,
Right.
had it 20x, and been good for a while. A lot of these guys that were in that office like just randomly threw in like $50,000 to $100,000 into it, and I remember looking at them
Wow.
like, damn, imagine I had that type of money, like I'd be chilling, like 20x to 100 G's, you're sitting at $2 million, and I had then I had started like learning how to chart the cryptos, because once I started realizing it was real, I learned how to chart. I learned how to read certain charts. I learned how to understand like why this moves this way, this moves that way. What are the driving factors? And throughout, honestly, like I did a lot more learning while there was a bear market from 2018 to basically like, end of last year. And once I like knew everything, this time around, I have more disposable income, and I started to know when we're coming into a certain market. And I knew, hey, this looks exactly like this did in 2017. I'm buying this,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm buying that, and I'm buying that. And now that we're in a little bit of, this current, like, there's certain things you can't account for, right? I can't account for an Elon Musk tweet. I can't
Right.
I can't account for China saying for the 15th time that they're banning crypto. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, this time it's for real, China. Like all 14 other times it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
for real.
Oh yeah.
Time it's for real. Like there's certain things you can't account for.
Right.
So it's like, like there's obviously bumpy roads along the way, but it's like when when you see a certain thing on a chart and a certain way that people react to, and social media has been such a driving factor this time around. Like I remember in 2017, 2018, like social media was a factor, but it wasn't this much of a factor. Like
No.
you look at like AMC with stocks right now
Oh my
and
God.
GME, like those are all literally being driven by social media. The
Oh yeah.
masses are on these social medias. And the funny thing is, I try to tell people a lot, tell to people all the time, it's the fact that we're also still stuck at home. Like people are like,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta put my money somewhere. Like I can't go out and work. I gotta do something.
Right.
And people like they go on social media and they're like, how do I 20x my money? And the only time 20x's have really happened in the past 10 years have been on crypto. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why everyone and their mom's getting. I mean, my parents are in it. I got my parents into it in November of last year, and my dad's like, "Damn, I can't wait to remodel our house with this money that was like a
That's
that was like a
awesome.
mortgage payment, And it's like stuff like that's like really cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
crypto's something that like you gotta learn, and you can be a Dan and just listen to people like me, but it's something you gotta learn if you want to be very successful. And it's something you gotta learn. You can't just
Of course.
you can try to be those guys who get super lucky, but it's like you gotta know what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
what was the first one that 20x for you when you were in 2017? What was that?
It's funny because if anyone that was in crypto back then would hear this, it was something called Verge.
Uh
I
no.
know I know nothing about it. Connor might.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah.
go on.
Verge was my first 20x. I literally like that was one of the first things I 20x'd on. I what's funny is I actually bought my original Bitcoin at around 15 to 2 grand, I think it was. So, like technically that more than 20x if I would have kept it at
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
Oh
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
but I've had dude, it was back then, like you were buying freaking, you name it. If it had a name, you were buying it back
Oh
then.
yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
Salt and Urge. There was something called like Spank Chain,
Uh
uh,
yeah.
Dragon Coin, like all these, like, bro, there was
And
Yeah.
so,
there's still a bunch of those now. Like people are just trying to like, I don't know.
yeah.
People are trying to boom off coins now or whatever. Make
I mean, you
so.
can just make the thing is you can mint coins yourself. It's all about, can you get Joe Schmo, his mom, his dad, his uncle, and everyone else to put money into it to, get the liquidity up of your coin.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if Sally's buying it at $1, the value of your coin's $1. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that's the one thing that people don't
Yep.
understand. Like it's the one thing people also don't understand with stocks. The value of the stock is whatever the next guy is willing to buy it at. So
Mm-hmm.
like if you're setting, like, if let's say I mint 1 million coins and I say it's $1 per coin, and
Right.
someone buys it, theoretically I have $1 million worth of coin, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
someone bought one at $1, why can't they buy 1 million at $1?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's
That's actually a good point because I mean, it doesn't stop there either because you could apply the same theory to streaming in general. Anybody can really stream. It's not too difficult to get going as long as you have the right equipment. But if you don't have viewers, same with crypto, if you don't have buyers, It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to do anything. And that even extends to esports as well. It's a conversation I've had with several of my clients where they might think they're worth like $5,000 because someone that's not as good as them, or they think they're better than somebody else, so they think I'm worth more than $5,000. But if there's nobody there that has $5,000 to pay you, or nobody's willing to pay you $5,000, you're just not worth that. You could be better than him in every single way, but if no one's willing to pay you that, you're simply not worth that. They're getting a really good deal by paying you less if that's actually true, but it goes across the board. You're worth what somebody's willing to pay you, and if it's higher, great. If it's lower, that sucks, but there's nothing you can do about it because you can't force people to give you more money.
Right.
And that definitely applies across crypto, streaming and esports as a whole. And it's an important thing to keep in mind as you're on the come up as well, because it applies, across many different walks of life.
I actually have a funny story about crypto. In 2015, I'm not going to say what they were used for, but you know how you have to get into bars as an underage person. I had actually, I think in 2015, I think I had like 2 or 3 Bitcoin because we were buying a bulk for a bunch of friends, and I was just like, imagine if I just like ran away with it and just kept it. Like I don't know what Bitcoin's price was in 2015, but it was probably something pretty good. So I was like, wow. I was like, I don't know. It's just like crazy to think that like, cause I was okay. First of all, I thought it was like I was like nervous because I didn't know anything about Bitcoin. I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "Why do I have like an ID number? Like, what's going on?" Like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But yeah. So I mean, that's my first encounter with Bitcoin.
Yeah, I've actually got an interesting point off that too. So Alan, did you hear about the new TSM naming rights deal with FTX? Did you happen to see that they purchased $1 million of FTX coin that they're giving to every one of their
Yeah.
creators, or really everyone in the org?
Mhm.
What do you think about that? In general, like essentially paying their players, not that that's
Are
included in
they
their
are they
contract, but
are they paying them or is it a bonus? That's what I didn't.
it
I thought it was a
it
bonus, right?
it's a from my understanding it's a bonus, so it doesn't affect their individual deal that they have with the org. It's more just, hey, we got this big deal, we want to celebrate with everybody. Here's some of the coin that our big name partner has.
I mean, I looked at it as the way of, hey, like you're they're trying. In my opinion, I think that they're just gonna try to get those people to promote that exchange and try to get the value of the FTX coin up, which will make their money go up and the whole
Mm-hmm.
value goes up. Because the whole point of the whole deal is to realistically get people on FTX to buy the FTX coin to raise the value of the FTX value and them make their money that way back on the whole deal. I said for so long that that's what's going to happen, especially anyone that competes in China. Like if you have an LCS team, if you have, a Valorant team, which they don't even let them use the naming rights there, but it's going to be known that TSM is FTX when they go to the socials, when they see those players, social media posts and all that. That's the whole point of it. And it's going to work. I've said it mad times. It's going to work for any one of these exchanges. Like I literally said LG should be working with Binance. Like there's no reason not to work with Binance, the
Yeah,
largest exchange in the world. I
yeah,
I'd be like, listen, any type of money they're throwing, I would put Binance on my. I'd love to make my name Allen LG Binance Allenownz. I would love that. You know what I mean? Like, especially like if I was to get paid in BNB, like I would take that as a salary in BNB. Like, if
yeah.
I'm being honest with you, like it's one of those things where it's like just because of how early crypto is, that the adoption of it, especially in China, like, and if you can get in there with a Chinese exchange, like that'd be so freaking nice.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they got lots of money. How long until you start accepting donations in crypto, or
But
we
that's the
see
funny
an
thing.
Allen coin?
I've talked about that so many times. It's actually like
Dude,
not.
Ninja was on top of that too. I
Why
didn't
you
mean to cut you
why you
off.
taking my thunder? Why are you taking my thunder?
Oh, is that what you were about to say?
Yeah. So
Oh,
the funny thing is, a lot of people don't know, like, dude, Ninja was doing that in like the 2017 time period, like before
yeah.
the actual boom. And I used to remember being in the office, like when we were buying crypto, being like, I can donate to the guy this way. And I was like thinking, man, like he's the type of dude where I feel like he never touched that money. And
No,
who
no
knows?
way.
Who
Dude,
knows?
he's
Who
probably
knows, bro?
dude.
who has any idea how much money that guy's in crypto? And like, I've looked at it many times. Your biggest fear is like a lot of it is like tax purposes when you're doing it on such a public way of gaining it
Yep.
Hmm.
and stuff like that. Like taxes is the biggest fear on it because if they start like backtracking you on it and start tracing you and like we I personally like like I paid my taxes when I took it out in 2018 because I
Hmm.
did take out most of my crypto in 2018 and like it is a big hit. That's a capital
Yeah.
gains tax and it's a huge hit, especially me being in New York. Like
Oh man.
it's massive, bro.
Yeah.
Like I
It's
literally
like
was like
50%.
it was a big one, man, and I was like, holy, like, and I'm sure he got so much freaking money where it's like, who knows if the IRS hit him up and was like, hey, by the way, we know you got this much crypto in 2017, 2018. Uh,
Yeah.
like you don't know that, and it's like that.
Hmm.
That's my biggest like fear with this, but with my next move of what we're doing like in July, like I'm definitely going to be doing something very related to crypto that um I'm going to have Dan help me with, but it's something that I definitely want to get crypto very involved with because it's it's just like nothing else that you can gain like I've said it to my people, you can get a donation, you can get bits from somebody that's going to stay at its current value. And if anything, it's
Yep.
going down with deflation.
Hmm.
Somebody donates me Bitcoin now,
It's just gonna
10
go
years
up.
from now, who the heck knows what it's going to be? Johnny's donation to me playing Fortnite 3 years ago could have been, you
Yeah.
know,
Could have been
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, well, that's something I always wondered too. Like, bits really aren't that far off of crypto, and I'm surprised Amazon hasn't implemented bits across the board. Like, for me, I feel like you should be able to spend bits to donate to streamers, but also buy stuff on Amazon and across the board with that. It seems
Well,
like
that
it
would be
wouldn't be
crazy.
too difficult to implement because then you could, give your kids bits for Christmas or whatever, and they can either spend it on their favorite streamer or spend it on Amazon, stuff like that, and they could integrate that into their the Amazon credit card stuff too. I imagine there's a lot of like legal stuff they have to go through for that, but I feel like we're really not that far off from that handling the transactions
being
that it would
here
decrease the cost a lot.
and being here, I think we are a little bit off from it. I do see like a lot of like Chinese or like European countries definitely getting it a lot faster than we would like with like for example, I can't even use Binance, normal Binance.
Yep.
Being in New York, I can't even use 90% of the exchanges out there. Like New York is very anti-crypto. There's, I think Washington's the other state that's very anti-crypto. Like, there's certain things that like within the U.S. that once they finally go, okay, crypto's okay. Let's stop this whole like anti-crypto brigade. We understand that China owns so much crypto, but it's like you're only hurting yourself letting them get way more into it. And when companies here go, I want to use crypto, I have to be a Chinese company. They're gonna move their whole operation, online operation over
Hmm.
there,
Oh yeah.
and it's like, what happens to what you're looking like clowns for that here.
Yeah.
Like I can definitely see that happening with a lot more like like I'm waiting for Alibaba to just straight up say we're only
Hmm.
taking crypto. And they're gonna do that eventually. 100%.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna eventually say, hey, if you're in the US and you want to buy our stuff, you gotta use crypto. It's gonna be coming very soon. And I know for a fact they are also gonna do that to protect consumers where you can theoretically evade paying US taxes that way. And it's like there's gonna be a lot of things that crypto's gonna involve in the gaming space as well. But a lot of it's gonna be under the table until either the US comes out and bans crypto or comes out and says we accept crypto. That's it.
Hmm.
Yep. Yep.
It's just only a
Completely
matter of
agree.
time, to be honest with you, too. Because, like, we have no idea. Like, we keep talking about this, but, like, gaming and crypto, like, we're in the forefront of it. Like, you mentioned this earlier, Alan. Like, we have no idea what's going to happen with anything that is related to these fields until 10, 20, 30 years down the line. And so it's
Well,
just.
what's funny is that you say like gaming and crypto has been aligned for years on years in the fact of before you can gamble at like a sports book on gaming, you were using crypto to gamble on, esports.
Oh,
Like
okay.
before you can
Oh yeah.
like go on and like a sports book that accepted esports, you were doing it with crypto.
Oh
Like
yeah.
a lot of the match fixing conspiracy stuff was happening when they were accepting mainly cryptocurrency. And it's like the hard problem was, all right, if we screwed this guy and he fixed this match, you're not getting that money back either way. You're
Yeah.
not calling back somebody's, Bitcoin. Like I can go back and say, oh, I'm taking back the $10,000 I wired you
Hmm.
because you screwed me. That happens with crypto. It was a GG. So like match fixing then, like it was a big hurt for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah. So kind of bouncing off the crypto. We don't have to go as in depth as crypto, but I just kind of want to jump in because we were talking about this before the stream, and I talk about this with you all the time. Is the sports card market? I got to know what's your favorite team. Who's your? Just give me like a top three in your PC, and what's your favorite card right now?
So when it comes, so I mainly like I collect all sports. My main sport that I love collecting is definitely basketball. My basketball PC currently, I have the three my what I think are the three goats of like the past three generations, including this one. So
Hmm.
I PC a lot of Jordan. My LeBron PC is absolutely insane. That's my favorite player of all time.
Yeah.
It's who I consider to be the goat. I know a
Yep.
lot of people say it's Jordan, whatever, whatever.
I'm with
Uh,
you.
and then I have a Zion PC that I've been building now because I think Zion's going to be probably my kid's favorite player, probably who my kid's going to consider the GOAT. As you know, like it's that's realistically like the three I have that are like my main PCs. Like I PC Trey Young, and I have Ja. I have a lot of Ja,
No
and then
Luca.
I know I'm not.
You
I
don't
don't really.
like Luca?
I
No.
like Luca. I like Luca. I can't pay those type of prices for
Yeah,
someone
Yeah.
that's
who I
fair.
don't who I don't think is actually going to be the goat of our generation.
Okay.
Um, and then I have a lot of like 80s, 90s guys. Like that's
Mhm.
the one thing that everyone's always so shocked about. That like I have from I think it's 88 to 93. I have so many Hall of Famers. Like I have Birds, Magics,
Nice.
people that you don't even know are in the Hall of Fame, like a Mitch Richmond and stuff like that. Like I have so many like Hall of Famers.
So
Like Tim
what's
Hardaway
yeah,
Sr. should be in the Hall of Fame, but we all
right,
know that he's homophobic, so he's never gonna get in,
right.
stuff like that. But it's like I have so many of these like Hall of Famers from there where it's like 20 years from now when either they pass or they like whatever happens, you get those cards graded
Yep,
and then you sell them to someone who collects those players.
right. So that's what I was gonna ask you. What when you're collecting those guys that are already in the Hall of Fame, like what's your end goal? So like do you think it'll no matter what the card is, do you think it'll just keep going up and up?
If
Is
they're a
that is
Hall of
that
Fame,
just your thought process?
when
Just
it's
by
a
them
Hall
being in the Hall of Fame.
yeah, when it's a Hall of Famer, yeah. Um, every Hall of Famer was someone's favorite player at some point.
Right.
That's just the way I always looked at it, and it's something that I found out more and more as I got older. And I'd show my dad certain cards. He goes, "Yo, I used to love that guy."
Right.
Like, uh, there's a guy on the Pacers right now, Demontis Sabonis. His
Hmm.
dad was in the NBA. His name was Arvidas, and my dad used to love that guy. And I have a lot of Demontis's rookie cards, so I went out and bought a couple of Arvidas's
There you
rookie
go.
cards just to give my dad because my dad loves that guy
That's awesome.
and stuff like that. But it's like there's always players
There's
that like
always someone, yeah.
always like a Chris Mullin was the whole entire Golden State Warriors franchise before these guys showed up, the Clay, the Curry, and all that. Like there was like a I guess like a Weber and this and that, but like there was like literally just Mullin. Mullin was the Golden State Warriors whole entire franchise, like for anyone that's alive right now.
Mhm.
And I have so many Mullen cards. I have a signed Mullen card out of 25.
Nice.
And it's like those type of cards 20 years from now, they are the vintage. They are the
Hmm.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar right now. They are the
Yeah.
Hakeem Olajuwon. Like there's certain players like, like when you have like a Lou Alcindor, Kareem's like original name card, like
Hmm.
20 years from now, that's Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
That's Larry Bird.
Yeah.
That's, all those guys from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. That's a good way to think about it. I personally, because I've always struggled to think about it. Like I've always thought about it as like by someone that's gonna get inducted into the Hall of Fame, that type of deal. But I never thought about after the Hall of Fame. So it really it kind of because I was always curious about that. So that's a great strategy. I never really personally put it.
It's all about your approach isn't wrong. Like right now, if you would have bought like Tim Duncan cards and stuff like that, like before, like when you knew he was gonna get inducted, like
Hmm.
Tim Duncan cards are going for like $70 They're like 210 now.
Yeah.
Once he's inducted. So you could have went with that approach. And a
Right.
lot of my friends go with that approach. Like me personally, like my end goal, I want to sell everyone and just have the craziest LeBron James personal collection. If I'm
Yeah.
being honest. Like
That.
I would sell every single card I have to get a Topps Chrome '03 LeBron James refractor. I would do anything for that card. That's a couple $100,000 card. That's gonna be a couple $1 million card, when we're in our
Oh my
like
God! Imagine when,
yeah.
dude, that I can't even imagine LeBron's prices when we're getting older. What's the best LeBron card out there? Is there some crazy logo man LeBron out there or something?
So, no, I don't think he has a logo, man. I think his own personal best card. I think I want to say he has a National Treasures, um, like out of 25. I'm not sure what his like. I forgot he had a card that went for 1 million, but it's not even like an insane card. Like
Right.
when you think of rarity wise,
Hmm.
there's a card that is a LeBron and Jordan rookie
Okay.
numbered out of 5.
Wow.
Uh, So that's an insane card, but that's obviously not just a LeBron card. There's
Yeah.
also there's also like a Holy Grail card that has LeBron, Larry, Magic, Kareem, Hakeem, like all
Wow.
of these guys
Oh
like on a
wow.
booklet. It's like a massive booklet,
Hmm.
which they're saying could be like a $5 million card like down the road.
See,
Jeez.
that's crazy to hear. Like, that's $5 million down the road. And then, do you remember? You probably remember this. I think it was a couple months ago. That Luca card sold for like 4.6 mil or something like that. Like, what's going on there? Like, I
So,
thought that was like money laundering or something like that.
uh,
Like
so
what's going on?
the one of ones are just, when you have a one of one, you set your market, right? Like that's the
Hmm.
big thing I always tell people. Like I have 2 one of one cards. They're not like anyone special. Like I have a Kai Bowman, who I don't even think is even in the league anymore, and I have a one of one Chris Webber, but it's like obviously after he retired, it was like a 2019 flawless card. It's a one of one. You having that card, you have the only card, so you
Hmm.
set the market. When it's someone like Luca, like people are buying Luca right now, assuming that he is going to be the greatest player of all time. Like that's everyone's banking on a Luca. That's like why his cards are absolutely through the freaking roof, and
Right.
him playing like this in the playoffs only helps that.
Hmm.
When you can get a one of one logo man, like come on, like that's the holy grail of the guy's card. Like
Right.
Giannis's holy grail went for 4.2 mil. Mike Trout's holy grail went for 4 point something mil. They're players who people are like, people still think Giannis might become the GOAT.
Hmm.
There's people out there who like they think, he develops a shot. Well, there's no one like a Giannis. They think Luka gets a team around him, wins a couple of championships. Luka's the GOAT. Like it's just
Yeah.
that's why like the market on some of these cards are insane. And it's like for me, my best card, like value wise, is either my so I have 2 cards that are really high up in value. I have a Joe Burrow RPA, 9 out of 10. So it's his
Nice.
jersey number
Yeah.
out of 10. I don't have it here, and then I have a Zion Select RPA out of 99.
Wow.
So those are my 2 like big ones. They're like
Hmm.
my 5-digit cards. But other than that, like like I have a couple $100 cards here, a couple $1,000 cards here. Like
Right.
I have a Barry Bonds Tiffany out of 10, which I think is like 2,200 now.
Nice.
What's your
Yeah,
favorite card?
favorite card, the,
Yeah.
the, the Zion, the Zion.
Really?
Yeah,
The
like
one out
me,
of
like
99.
the one out of 99. For me, I have 2 of the Burrow RPAs out of 10.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I have 2 out of 10 and 1 out of 25 from Obsidian, and they like that's my favorite team. I actually have a funny.
You're a Bengals fan?
Yes, I am a Bengals fan.
Really?
Here's the
Oh, I love that.
Nice.
I have, and if Joe becomes that guy, those RPAs are gonna be
Oh my
if they
God.
get anywhere near like
Brady or someone like
or,
that.
or,
Not
or
maybe
just
not even Brady.
I'm putting it on Lamar Jackson level. If it gets to Lamar
Okay.
Jackson levels, Lamar Jackson's those RPAs were going for in the 5 digits,
Nice.
and if he gets to Mahomes levels,
Oh yeah.
Dude,
those are-
yo, Alan, I gotta send you a picture of this off stream. But my the kid that lives below me, we were opening up packs, and I forget what he was opening. It was like that throwback box, I forget what it was called. Oh my god, I'll have to send you a picture of it. But we were opening it, and it has all those throwback cards in it and stuff like that. You can pull like legends and like current guys and stuff like that. And he pulled a 1 of 2 Patrick Mahomes rookie, and it was
Wow.
wild. On card auto too, and
On card auto.
yeah, it was nuts. It was not a sticker.
Have you
And
ever robbed somebody?
what'd you say,
Have you ever robbed somebody?
dude? I don't even.
Hey, we
He
can make it
right
happen.
right when he got that card, he went to his parents' house and put it in a safe. Like he locked that thing up and is
That was
never.
your time.
He's
That was,
never. I
that
had
was
it,
your chance.
Alan. I had it in my hand. I took a picture with it. I
That was
can.
your
I'll say.
chance. That is your chance. Like who did it? You send that thing to PSA the second it's in your hand.
See,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know why he never sent it to PSA.
I wouldn't send anything to PSA right now either way.
Well, but his thought process behind it is whoever he sells it to, he's gonna go through. I think it's called like golden auctions or whatever, something like that.
Mhm.
And he was saying that he doesn't want to crack the seal that it's in because it was one of those packs that like it came in like one of those automatic seals.
Yep.
I have to send it to you. I forget the box that it came out of, but you'll know what it is. But that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Because I think someone valued that at like a six figure card, right? Like I feel
Yeah,
like
I believe it.
so. I don't know.
That's insane.
Too, I would take it.
I don't know what the value of it is, but it was nuts.
It's just the thing. I personally like. For me with football, like if you're not collecting a quarterback, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%.
that's the big thing with football, and it's like the chance of the quarterbacks hitting nowadays is
Dime a
like
dozen.
it. One of my good friends' dads went absolutely insane on who should have been the best quarterback of our lifetime,
Mhm.
but he disappeared. Anyone knows who that is? It's a guy who goes by the name of Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
He spent a lot of money on Andrew Luck.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
Even if that guy just finished his career, like, hurt, he would
Couple
have
more
made it.
years.
Yeah, just like a couple
Dude.
more years, guarantee yourself the Hall of Fame. And it's like, no, he wanted to retire at his age. It's just like, there's a guy, Vegas Joe, who collects.
Yeah, yeah. He's
He,
going
col-
after Derek Carr, right?
he stopped now. He
Oh, he
actually burned.
stopped.
I'm pretty sure he burned his rarest Derek Carr card.
Oh my
Jeez.
god.
Like, but he's the one who bought the Trout. And
Oh, he was the one that flipped it, right? He bought it for like 400K, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
And then
I
he
remember
sold
that.
it to a guy in China for 4 point something million.
Oh my god. Wait, it was some dude in China?
He
I-
he flew the guy out, bro. He flew the guy
Oh
out,
my god.
and like he'd had the guy see it the first time, and then second time sold it to him. Like that guy,
I never knew that.
that guy makes so much money off these flips. But he knew the sports card market was gonna be like this for so long.
yeah.
He flipped so many. Like he had like the third most expensive Giannis that he flipped, and it's just like that's why he's like, bro, I can burn every single one of my Derek Carr's cars, and
Doesn't even care.
I'm
Yeah.
chilling.
Yeah.
Not a drip in the pan. Jeez.
So
Awesome.
yeah, we'll lead this towards we'll start wrapping it up. But one thing that we like to ask is what advice would you give someone that's wanting to pursue either esports or just content creation, because that's what you focus on mainly, but you're in gaming obviously and you're focusing on IRL now. But what's one thing you would tell someone, and what's one thing that you wish you knew at the start of your career?
So the first thing I tell someone is, and I say I've been preaching this a lot recently, is short-term loss is way worth the long-term gain. Like my camera just went out 1 sec.
No worries.
I'm back. Oh wait.
Oh,
Oh.
there you
Wait,
go.
what?
Oh, you're back going. Uh-oh.
I don't know if something else is up.
Might have to. Oh, is he back? No.
Nah, he's going out 1 sec. I know what I have to do.
Okay, no worries, no worries. So Connor, how's your day going?
Oh, it's going good. It's hot out. I want
It's
the
very
humidity
hot
to go
out.
away. 87 is too hot.
It's never gonna kick. I swear it's never gonna kick.
It's either like 0 degrees or 90 degrees. we didn't get enough time in the middle, man. I
No.
miss like the 50 degrees. That's where I live. I can wear shorts and a sweatshirt and be comfortable either way.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I miss.
It's so hot in Philly right now. It's just unbearable. And my AC was recently broke, and it was absolutely disgusting.
Oh, I couldn't do it. I can't sleep. That's my
No,
thing. I can't sleep
dude,
when it's hot.
I was out by like 2 a.m., up by like 5, 6, just because I was like, this is brutal. Oh, he's
Jeez.
back. All right.
Awesome.
So we'll get back to it. So what's advice you'd give someone to pursue this?
I would. So it's the biggest advice that I've been giving people a lot recently is short-term loss is well worth long-term gains. And when I say that is go after what you think will help you. And it's like, if you think that it's going to hurt one aspect of you and that aspect you're willing to just take the sacrifice on, do it. Like, if you're streaming 200 hours and you're not seeing any growth or you're seeing minimal growth, and you know that by spending 20 hours a week extra on YouTube will get you more money, but it's going to cost you, some viewers or subs, do it. It is well worth it in the long run. You don't know how much more opportunities you have by growing your social medias and your network. And, like, I'm not one of those people that preaches, go watch a million streamers and try to make friends with them. You will make friends along the way while you make content. You will run into people that make similar content as you. You will run into people that like the content you make that you had no idea like the content you make. They'll reach out, and now you made someone in your quote unquote network. You don't have to, kiss people's butts to do it. And just like make the content you want to make. Stop. So many times there are people being like, well, if I want to be successful, I have to make this. You don't. You really don't. I did not a single TikTok trend on my rise up. Not a single TikTok trend. I didn't do any of those trends and stuff like that. I made my own content. I did my own skits. Like, did I draw inspiration? Like, this guy might have did something like this, and I go, oh, I have a better idea with something like this. 100%. But 99% of my content is straight up right from my forehead. Took the idea, wrote it down, said I'm going to do it like this, and did it. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. Stop following in everyone else's footsteps. What worked for Ninja in 2017 is not going to work for you now. I promise you that. Do your own path and make sure you're enjoying what you're doing, or you're going to be miserable. You're going to be freaking miserable.
Yep. And then, so what's one thing that you wish you knew at the start of your career, officially, when you actually started streaming, not like the Xbox?
Don't stream, make social media content. Don't stream, make social media. That is the biggest thing that I feel like I wish I was told and I wish I knew, because that, like, I went and I learned this from experience of, so everyone will tell you this, and you're not going to learn it till you experience it. I went from averaging 20 viewers, streaming 120 hours every single month. I got up to 30 when I finally was posting on all social media. I dropped down to 20 to 40 hours a month streaming, focused solely on social media. There was one month where I streamed maybe 3-4 times, like 20 hours. The next month, I averaged 350 viewers.
Wow.
Yes.
You grow based on your social medias nowadays. You're not getting lucky. You might get lucky. Don't get me wrong. You might be that guy that gets the Ninja host. You might get the Tim the Tap Man host.
Yeah.
Someone big might host you.
Right.
Count how many Tim the Tap Mans are, ninjas and all that. Count how many times they stream a year, and count how many streamers there are. You have a .000000.
And now everyone is streaming too.
Yeah. So it's like, you got to be realistic and like you pave your own path. Like, don't rely on the Ninja host. Would a Ninja host be cool? Sure. It'd be awesome. I personally wouldn't even be able to take full advantage of a Ninja host right now because I can't stream for 24 hours. I would do my normal like 3 hours and I have to get off. Be like, Ninja, thank you. The 20,000 of you that are in here, I appreciate it, but I have to get off stream because after 3 hours, my brain's fried at this point.
Yeah. So as we wrap this up, the last question that we always ask everyone: what makes you want to do this every day? Why do you want to wake up, and why do you want to grind out this content? What do you love about it?
Multi-part thing. I think the first part is like, I know like I have a skill of entertaining people, and I know it's something that I think I learned very early on from streaming when I got a DM from one of my viewers' parents saying like, my kid tries harder in school because of you. Like my kid didn't have a lot of friends, and like you got him to be more open, and he made way more friends and is way more confident. And I learned the power that you have as an influencer, where so many people think you influence people to do specific things,
Mm-hmm.
whereas you influence people to become, a certain person. Like how many times you watch a certain creator, like think of like so many phrases we have that we pick up from creators, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
people still use
Sheesh.
Saquon's terms,
Yeah.
like booga booga booga, or
Yeah. Yeah.
toes, boy, come here, boy, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Those are stuff like Daquan would say, and it's like we pick up certain characteristic traits, we act a certain way from the people we watch. And I know that like I have the personality and the content skill to be a true influencer and a positive influencer. And that also opens a gateway for me to have, success in my life. Like, me being an influencer and doing what I do and making the content I make, I'm going to be able to hopefully retire, in my early to mid 30s. I'll be able to pay off my parents' house and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's knowing that like I get to benefit the people who watch me as well as my family and the people around me. It's a win-win situation. There's no
Right.
losing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. You're setting yourself up for the future, and you're setting your family up for the future, and you're entertaining your fans at the same time. So,
It's a win-win.
yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. So,
Like
yeah. Whoops.
here's the biggest thing I'm looking forward to, and it's something that like obviously you can't control, but like I always love seeing, like I think it's so cool when you see people like comment under someone's like Twitter or Instagram or TikTok, where there's somebody that's been making content for like 10 plus years, and they comment like, you were my childhood. And
Yeah.
like I hope 7 years from now, like I post like an Instagram picture with like, let's say I have a kid, and they go, holy, like you have a kid, like you were my childhood.
Yeah.
That I feel like
It's gonna
that
happen.
I think it will too, but it's like that's like, in my opinion, the ultimate compliment. Like
Mm-hmm.
the ultimate compliment.
Yeah.
Like I see it happen so often now when I see like a lot of these like older creators get on like TikTok, and
Mm-hmm.
their comments are all like, holy shit, this guy was my childhood. And you see them in like 14, 15, or 16, and it's like, bro, they've probably been watching them since they're like 8, 9, 10.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's like the 10, 11, 12-year-olds that are watching me now.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows 5 years from now what they're gonna
Oh
say
my
about me?
god.
Hopefully they're not like, yo, screw this guy, but
No, but like
Nope.
I never actually thought about it from that perspective because
I
like
think about that stuff all the time, man.
it.
Like literally, like
Yeah.
the people that are like 60 or
Dude.
70 months sub to Ninja.
Yeah.
That shit, like, bro, he retweeted a guy that's like I think it was like a 90-month sub to him.
Oh my
I was
god.
like, and the guy's like 24 now, so he's been watching him since he was like 17, 16.
That's
Right?
crazy.
He's been subbed the whole time. And
Damn.
think about that. Like, think of what we went through from we were 17 to today. Like,
I couldn't even
that's a
imagine.
lot of time. And like, this guy's been in your life the whole time. Like, dude, I consider that person my freaking friend at that point. You know?
Yeah.
What I mean? Like,
Dude, he
that's
probably
my
knows
boy.
more about Ninja than Ninja at that point. Like
Yeah, like straight
that
up.
is
Like,
crazy.
there's people that have still been with me from when I first started on Mixer, where it's like they know more about me than my friends and my girlfriend do. You know, like I talk about that all the time. Like I have viewers that know so much more about me than like my girl does. Like there's
Yeah.
certain things that we talk about on stream that like I'm not just gonna randomly bring up to my girlfriend.
Yeah, of course
You know what I
not.
mean?
Yeah.
And it's like they know that stuff, and it's so crazy that like there's certain people, and it's like when you're like that's the thing that I realized with like the M fan with Nick Merckx, right?
Mhm.
Like they really do know everything about that guy, and it's like you experience that as a
crazy.
group. You experience it as a freaking group. Like that's the
Mhm.
whole community aspect of it. And that's what I want to do. I want to do that shit. That's like what I want to get that.
It's gonna happen, Alan.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna happen. And the fact that you brought that up is crazy because I'm now running through the process in my mind of like all the creators I used to watch back in the day. Like the first one that jumps to mind. I know I will wrap this up, but the first one that jumps to mind is Zerg Grizz. I don't know if you remember him from COD 4, but like I don't know what that dude's up to now. But that dude was a
But, like,
legend back in the
But it's like
day.
if you randomly see a TikTok of him, you're gonna be like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, exactly.
Like I used to watch this guy every single day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and like and it's like so many like with Banks, right? Like
Oh my
that's
God.
the person that so many people like, like
Relate
even if
to,
it's
yeah.
even if it's in a negative way, they'll be like, "Damn, like this guy went downhill, but he was my childhood" or something like that.
Mhm.
Like, but it's like dude, there's people that like were so invested in you that they still care to this day.
Yeah.
Like that shit's crazy to me.
Yeah.
And the other crazy thing that I'll never get old is whenever we send out a tweet and people are like Noti. And I'm like, that's awesome that people like care that much. Like
Yep,
when
yep.
we
Oh, yeah.
say stuff. Like it's just so cool, and it's just great to have like communities that really actually care about the people in the company that you're promoting and you're behind. So yeah, I mean, it's just awesome.
Absolutely.
So, is there anything you want to say as a last word? Do you have anything coming up that you want to
Yes.
plug?
Follow me on all these social media. It's over here. Follow me right here. This name.
A little bit lower. A little bit lower.
There you go.
Allenownz. Follow Allenownz.
Allenownz on every social media. And yes, in like 2 weeks, unless Dan makes it happen faster, massive announcement is coming. Massive announcement
Massive.
coming.
Awesome.
I'm
Hell
gonna
yeah.
be teasing it. I'm gonna do a little series to tease it on socials. So if you're good at guessing or getting through cryptic messages, you're gonna want to see it.
Awesome.
Can't miss it. All right, Alan. Thanks for hopping on. We appreciate it. Of course, we'll be in touch. And
Yep.
yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good one, everyone.
Yeah, thanks guys for tuning in.
See ya.